Now, the South African Department of Health has introduced the digital COVID-19 vaccine certificate, which can only be accessed by those who are fully vaccinated. The certificate is meant to serve as proof of vaccination to facilitate travel, access to establishments and other activities. To discuss this now, we're joined by Mia Malan, who's Editor-in-Chief of Bhekisisa Center for Health Journalism. Mia, very good evening to you. So, did we have a choice in this move, or to follow suit where the North dictates?
So I think each country does have a choice on whether they would like to issue a certificate or not. But I think if you would like to survive in the bigger global context, and if you would like citizens of a country to travel internationally, there are so many countries who now require that you have proof of vaccination, that it will be hard for citizens to travel if that isn't issued. So our certificate, actually it's a card at this stage, which means it's not as secure as a certificate yet, that it will be upgraded eventually. But our card will be launched on Friday, this coming Friday morning, during the Health Department's official media briefing. And so the site from which you download it is not yet fully functional. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's because the Health Department is still running tests on it. So if you would like a card, the best time to try and download one is to do that from Friday morning onwards.
You said something interesting, that if we are keen on being part of what works in the global order, the irony of it is this occurs at a time when Africa as a continent is shifting towards doing more trade within the continent. So that means that our focus is moving away in terms of whom we do business with. So I'm wondering, so we're going digital, but does that mean the rest of the continent is there?
Well, I think this card, a digital card, will eventually expand to all countries. I think to have a record, it's like a medical record of your vaccinations. And to have that is just going to become essential, whether that's in Africa or whether you want to travel to Europe or the US, it will become essential eventually everywhere. And that's not the only way to use a card like this. Part of this is to use it domestically. So if we look at countries that are ahead of us with vaccinations, so European countries and the US. In those countries, requirements, if you wanted to enter certain institutions or entities, for instance, a restaurant, have now started to require proof of vaccination or a negative PCR test in order to ensure safety or to create safer environments. Also, if they are employers who require you to be vaccinated, and in South Africa we already know about Discovery Health and Sanlam, they will implement their policies in January. You would need some official form of proof that you've been vaccinated, and with a sort of an assurance that the information that's on that proof can be verified. And that is why there are various security measures that are being implemented for this card.
Okay, we're going to talk about the practicalities of this in just a moment, but I want to continue with what you're talking about, that there will be other uses. The Health Department's minister saying that it will have other uses in future. But I'm wondering just in terms of state capacity, government, for instance, especially the communications department, speaking about these smart set-top boxes for our televisions, how it's going to help the state be better efficient in terms of service delivery. What do you anticipate? Are there particular specific services that would help us in future, particularly those who are not digitized?
So I'm not sure about that. What I can say is this card that we're going to get on Friday is just the first version of 3 cards that we will get. It will be upgraded each month with more security measures to ensure that that's in keeping with international standards. So the card we're getting on Friday will have a QR code on it, but that QR code won't work yet. By the end of October, October, we're likely to upgrade to a certificate which will have a QR code. And by the end of November, we're likely to upgrade to a fully fledged vaccine passport that will also incorporate a digital signature or a cryptographic signature, which is a higher level of security. So what I can say is that our cards that we're using here seems to be in keeping with World Health Organization guidelines, which essentially asks you to have certain types of information on it and that it should be possible to verify that information.
So this is also the other part that I was curious about, this particular certificate from the portal allowing users to create a QR code showing their COVID-19 vaccination status. Will that be for the general public or specific entities and sectors, and how good would the encryption be to prevent it being manipulated or forged?
So I'm perhaps not the best person to speak about details of security
I'm just saying from what you've heard, yeah.
Yes. So what it will do is there will be software that is incorporated with a QR code and a special scanner that you scan it with. And the general public won't just have access to that scanner. It will there will be a process for entities that need it to get that scanner. And with regards to the digital signature, there will be codes that are issued to entities that need to verify this, that will help with the verification. You may want to know, is this in keeping with international standards? So there is no international standard at the moment. There's no official document that gives you a list of things that you need to have. All countries mostly just do whatever they think is best, but there is rough sort of World Health Organization guidelines that we're following.
And of course, it is anticipated that it's going to help not only the travel industries, but some SMMEs may benefit from this. Mia Malan, thank you very much. She's editor-in-chief at Bhekisisa Center for the Health Journalism.